So in two previous episodes, I talked about the amateur radio functions on this Choyong WT2, as well as the AM, FM, and shortwave receive functions. In this video, I'm going to talk about the main reason I got this, which is the internet radio function. And I think what's neat about this one is it's not every internet radio has Bluetooth output so that you could output it to a stereo system or a wireless speaker. But this one certainly does, so let's get into how you use that. For those of you who didn't see my previous two episodes on this multifunction radio called the Choyong WT2, those episodes were on programming UHF ham repeaters and also using the FM, AM, and shortwave receiver functions on this unit. Spoiler alert, I'll put the two cards up there somewhere for those two episodes. Spoiler alert, there were flaws with those two functions, that not unusable, but there were flaws. In this episode then we're going to talk about using the internet radio function, and another spoiler alert, it's actually pretty good. I think Choyong's had a lot of experience working with internet radio on various other models that they have. So yeah, let's have a look into what is required to set this up. So right off the bat, we will press 0 and look at settings. And we'll see that Wi-Fi is saying it's off. Now we need Wi-Fi on to be able to receive the internet streams, of course. So press that and press OK again to turn it on. And now we have to go down into our Wi-Fi networks and choose one. So I'm going to use this one. It says that we're connected now, so I can back out of that. Back out of that again. So next we need to connect to Bluetooth. This is one of a few internet radios that actually has a Bluetooth output function, so you can connect to either a speaker, a wireless speaker, Bluetooth speaker, or to a device like this, which will, through a connector on the end, allow you to either use headphones or connect to a stereo system. And the good news is that if the programs are broadcast in stereo, this will output in stereo to a device like this. Not so much to the wireless speaker because it's just monophonic. So we need to set up Bluetooth and get our display back on here. Right now it says it's off, so we just have to press OK and OK again, and now we toggle down to on and it switches on Bluetooth. And now we have to pair it with a device, either that speaker or the internet transmitter receiver. So let's scroll down to the Bluetooth speaker, click OK, and now we see that we have to click OK on connect again. And sometimes this takes a little time.
Connected to BA3CFD, connected to WT2 and BA3CFD.
There you go. So how do we find an internet station? Well, the first way you should try is to press button 6. That will bring up a list. Let's just ignore search for now. And let's say you want to listen to English radio, British radio stations. We'll go down to Europe, push OK, and we see United Kingdom come up there first, so we'll press that, say OK. And now it gives us a choice of either going to some pre-selected music stations, news stations, podcasts, BBC Radio specifically, or it will go to various regions, counties, whatever in the UK. But let's just say I want to listen to some music from music-oriented stations in the UK. So press music, and for the heck of it, let's go to BBC Radio 2. I have to make sure the volume is down for the copyright police. And what happens is it's buffering the actual program. So you can hear a little bit of music in the background, hopefully not too loudly. Now I can use left-right buttons here to go left to Radio 1. There we go. I could go back to BBC Radio 2, have it load, or over to Radio 3, for instance. So you can just keep going, scrolling back and forth once you're in a particular category. Now, another way we can find a station is a new feature that they've added in, which is supposedly linked to ChatGPT. So let's see how it works if I just press button 1 and hold it. And I say, Radio Caroline. It's now searching for us. There's Radio Caroline. It even picked up an I say. So if I press that, it will buffer that station. And believe it or not, that's the old Radio Caroline pirate station that's now gone legit. Now, we're not restricted to voice searching by station. We can search by music genre as well. So if I say New Orleans Jazz, and just see what it comes up with. See, we have a number of radio stations here. Let's go down to this one. Doesn't sound like jazz to me, but more Latin than anything. But I might like this station. So there's a button 7 down here, and I may want to come back to that easily. So if I push 7, it says it added it to my favorites, and you can now see there's a little red heart there. So if we back out of this, and I push that 7 again, it will now say my favorite stations. And by the way, I think you can only do this on internet stations. You can't do it with the FM AM shortwave function in this radio. So if I say OK, it will now give me a list of stations plus the one I just added there. We can go back to that. And it will reload it. Now there's another function here. You see this button 5. Button 5 is got that play pause icon on it. You'll see up here there's a pause icon. So if I hit 5, it will now turn into a play icon. So it is paused. So if you know, the phone rings or whatever, you can just suddenly silence it. And I can hit play again, and now it will unpause. There are 2 buttons I haven't talked about yet, button 8 and button 9. And according to the instructions, button 8 is a recording key. So when playing programs online, short press to activate the recording function. So it assumes that you are in the internet radio function and not in the FM AM shortwave function. It also says in radio mode, short press to change the receiving bandwidth. Well, I've not found that to work for some reason. Maybe that's a future update to the firmware. And it also says in standby mode, short press to play recordings. And similarly, button 9 it says short press to play programs or recordings stored on the TF card. So the TF card goes in under this flap here, and I think it's the same as a micro SD, I'm not sure. That's not something that particularly interests me, but let's have a look at what happens when I push that button 8. It tells me to insert a TF card and restart the device. Supports up to 32 gig. If I push button 9, same message. So these are for 8 is for recording and playback, 9 is for just playback of internet radio only. And there you go, that's everything I know about the internet radio function on the Choyong WT2. So that's the internet radio function on this Choyong WT2. The thing I like about it that makes it unique is this ability to just push a button and talk to ChatGPT, tell it what kind of music you want to listen to, or what region you want to tune into, or what station you want to listen to. And also the fact that it has Bluetooth output, so that you can go to a Bluetooth speaker or a Bluetooth receiver on your stereo system or whatever. So that wraps up my review of the Choyong WT2. Hope you enjoyed the series, and we'll see you in the next video.